Improvised explosive devices, or IEDs, certainly are the biggest killers of American troops overseas, but the mission to defeat them is a lot closer to home.
Tonight, 11 News I-Team reporter David Collins gives us a rare look from inside Aberdeen Proving Ground at the technology and training that's helping protect our soldiers thousands of miles away.
You're witnessing a counterintelligence exercise designed to defeat roadside bombs, known as improvised explosive devices, or IEDs.
It's definitely not the safest profession.
After a roadside bomb goes off, the U.S. military often figures out how to defeat it. But then insurgents come up with a new design, and it's back to square one. Many of the soldiers working on IED countermeasures at Aberdeen got first-hand experience from the battlefields of Iraq and Afghanistan.
It's always an adrenaline rush, and when you're down there, you're all alone.
But Sergeant Chris Holmes says he wouldn't trade this job for anything in the world.
It's very gratifying knowing that every device we defeat has saved at least one life, and possibly more.
Staff Sergeant Marshall Pratt just came back from Afghanistan. He worked on a roadside bomb detail for 2 years.
The devices are going to be there whether I do this job or not. If there's no one to do this job, the devices will kill people.
This is the clock camera?
But before the soldiers suit up, they get a close-up view of the potential danger from a safer distance away.
This is a camera for the claw control. And you have a panning camera here, where you can just look around.
The cameras are intentionally put into harm's way with this, a robot they call the claw. The cameras are the robot's eyes, and it can travel as fast as 15 miles per hour. Rough terrain is not a problem.
Right now I have the claw camera inside of the car, and I'm viewing the inside of the car with it.
The suit weighs 85 pounds. The device on its sleeve controls a fan, but it's not for the comfort of the soldier. It helps keep the helmet's mask from fogging up. Sergeant Holmes is looking for a way to safely enter this vehicle and disrupt the IED inside. He's working with a team of experts to identify the type of ignition system and develop a plan to disarm it.
A disruption charge to try to open up the vehicle and disrupt the components of the device to disable it.
Mission accomplished. Blast patterns are examined at another Aberdeen test site. Here they set off an explosion on the top floor of this building. The military uses what it calls flash X-ray diagnostic equipment to examine debris as it strikes a target. Researchers then compare this information with physics-based computer simulations. What you're watching is a computer-generated IED explosion inside an artillery shell. Data from these tests are used to design stronger armor and other blast-resistant equipment.
Help us understand the sizes and the velocity and the anti-armor capability of those fragments. It helps us understand the threat so that we can use that information to start designing different kinds of armors.
They call this the anechoic chamber. Specialized rubberized foam cones cover every inch of the walls and ceiling.
These cones that I'm holding, actually they're radar absorbent.
The room is large enough to hold any military vehicle. It went into operation less than a year ago. Specifically, what goes on in here is classified. What the military can tell us is that they're developing the next generation of sensors and jamming technology they'll put on vehicles to help soldiers discover and disrupt IEDs.
This chamber helps us optimize the location of those sensors to give us the most effective position for the vehicle's protection itself.
But using high technology to defeat IEDs isn't always effective. Sometimes the roadside bombs are made of wood and old wires, material the enemy fished out of a trash heap.
That's why ongoing communication between APG researchers and soldiers in the field is also a key component of this program. Civilian engineers will explain in layman's terms not only how to disarm the IED, but what evidence to collect to identify and defeat the terrorist network responsible. For the 11 News I-Team, I'm David Collins.
Now